Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Rayge, and we are back today to revisit now the best 10 teams that you should be investing in Marvel Strike Force, as these teams currently don't change too often every single month. There is a changing meta that we need to be mindful of, but when we do these recap videos here, generally 8 to 9 out of the 10 teams stay pretty constant, outside of obviously some fluxes and changing in the meta, which we'll also point out as well. So these teams should actually give you guys, especially if you're newer to the game or mid-game, the strong foundational value to be had. There's going to be definitely an emphasis on the raid teams because we know those are explicitly required with your daily alliance engagement. In addition, I always like to stress the arena teams because you can also gain power cores and accumulate that. And power cores are one of the most important resources in the game, as they provide a lot of flex, a lot of adaptability, given what Marvel Strike Force and Scopely throws at us. So I want to be able to empower you guys with that option as well. And on top of that, we'll talk about some of the other teams that are part of this mix. But remember, when you have this strong foundation, it's going to provide value ultimately in all the game modes. So it includes raids, it includes doing decent and progressing in war, it gives you some options for Cosmic Crucible, and it also allows you to have some characters that you can even use for Dark Dimension, because obviously the Dark Dimension route allows you to have some of the most powerful mythic characters in the game, including Odin, including obviously the Age of X Professor Xavier. So tons and tons to talk about here. So let's get started, guys. Again, emphasis on the raid teams because that is explicitly clear. We'll talk about which ones are going to stay relevant for the meantime, things to watch out for, and then we'll talk about the other teams that are going to round out the rest of your roster as part of this top 10. So, not in any particular order, just because I have it just grouped by essentially how I use them, but we'll start off with the raid team. So, Orcus being mainly for the tech section of the Chaotic Storm raids, you're going to need them every single day. However, keep in mind, now that we have the announcement of the Hellfire Club being part of the mutant team here, it's important to be, cognizant of this team actually being on the way out. That doesn't mean don't invest in them, because they still have really, really good value. As you can see, mine is like almost fully built up to the max. 3 out of these 5 characters came into me with the progression towards Professor X in his Age of X saga. So, I mean, it just goes to show you how good they really are. They can be used in Dark Dimensions to unlock Mephisto and Odin, and so forth. So really, really good. I suspect that they'll probably still have a few months left of playtime, but just something to be mindful of as we watch this changing meta. They'll probably still be included in this list in the next month. So just to give you a sense of when that's going to change, we still have a bit of time here and a bit of value, right? For the Mystic section of raids, Night Stalkers is the go-to answer. Now, I wanted to include the full Night Stalkers team here so you can see actually how built up some of my characters are, as well as how not built up some of the other characters are. Because the Mystic section is interesting in Chaotic Storm because you can actually bring in some of the most powerful Mystic characters if you do already have Odin, Null, as well as Mephisto unlocked, right? So just some options there. That's why you don't see my Man-Thing and my Moon Knight. Heck, even my Agatha Harkness not that built up. But highly recommend Blade as well as Oath. They came into me with my city section for Age of X, so absolutely massive investments there. But just wanted to show you guys the flux there, so that way you can see that you don't necessarily need this full team built up. If you don't have access to Null, Odin, Mephisto, by all means bring this team up, because you need them to in order to actually push through the Mystic section for these raids. Thunderbolts, they are the newest raid team here that have been added into the game, so they're going to have probably the longest staying value here. But as you can see right here, we don't even need them fully built up, and they're still able to rock all 3 nodes through the section. So Taskmaster and Ghost didn't get as much love, but as you can see, the newest 3 members definitely received that. And again, they're operating as intended. I plan to keep them here at this level because they're getting it all done right now. Vigilante, my goodness. This was a favorite from the Chapter 1 Harbinger with Quasar release and whatnot. And to be honest, I highly recommend building this team up, guys. As you can see, 3 out of these 5 characters also came into with me for the Age of X progression. I brought in Daredevil Modern, Hitmonkey, and Silver Sable, and my goodness, they absolutely rocked that section. Having said that, you can see you don't necessarily need as much investment in both Punisher and Elektra. However, I've heard a lot of good things about Punisher as well being a viable option, especially for Age of X, because obviously he's cheaper, but he also brings in a lot of damage. But either way, guys, this is the team I highly recommend. They're the second newest raid team after the new Hellfire Club announcement, so I do suspect that they'll still have a bit of playing value. At least the next 6 to 8 months they'll still be around, so just something to look out for here. I have Extreme X-Men listed here with Old Man Logan because this is the current option right now that I have. As you can see, this mixture here, bringing in an Uncanny Avenger member like Jean Grey, is what kind of makes it work. Now, high caution here, guys. Remember, the Hellfire Club just got announced. as well, and they are 100% meant to replace the mutant section here. So that's why I have this team kind of as a historical placeholder, but you can see that's why I have Emma Frost and Madeline Pryor already listed there. I don't have the 3 unlocks yet, but that's why, guys, it's important to note that this is a coming new team, and that's why definitely hold back on your investment now, because these new teams are going to get released and they're likely going to replace the current team, and as well, obviously, new raids coming. So just something to be on the lookout for. But otherwise, they're a viable option right now until the Hellfire Club fully gets released and obviously the public has access, which are in the coming weeks. So just something to be on the lookout for there. That concludes all the main Chaotic Storm raids. Now we can talk about real quickly here the Spotlight raid requirements. Spotlight raids usually only requires 2 to 3 teams. And you don't really have a choice. Like, there's no other options that you can slot in and out. It has to be that set team. It's a great way for Scopely to just make sure that everyone's investing and spending gear and resources on these set teams when they release it, right? So, Alpha Flight, Uncanny Avengers is what you see on screen here. And to be honest, guys, I don't know how much time Alpha Flight has left. I mean, as you can see, that's why I kind of built them to the bare bones to just basically get the nodes done. But they are definitely on the way out. I don't know if they'll even have 2 to 3 months of viability left. So just something to be on the lookout for. Do not overinvest in this team. Uncanny Avengers, confirmed in data mines as part of the new raids that we can see in the details. So they will probably stay put here for at least another 6 months, I would have to guess, right? Jean Grey still being quite recent, you know, Falcon, Hercules being the more important members. Beast and Storm, I don't have them built up as high, but obviously feel free. I still think that they're going to have some value in the coming months. So they're a really good team overall still. And then we have the one and only Battle World team here in being Astro. So you got to be mindful of this team because remember they announced that Sentry is going to be a new boss that's part of the Battle World in the Q3 of this year. So the Astro team may not have as much value because I can see them definitely releasing another Battle World team. But in the meantime, because they're the only Battle World team, and when you have this team built up, my goodness, you can just go into that section and auto it. So this is just a quality of life. But also, Shadow King is one of the best legendary characters in the game. Emma Frost X-Men is a great option for Age of X. And as you see, even Doctor Strange, he's actually a really viable choice now. So you don't have to put as much effort into Ancient One as well as Moondragon, but just something to be mindful of. This is a really strong Crucible, War, as well as obviously Battle World team. So just something to be on the lookout for there. My last 2 teams were interesting picks because one is really historically dated. So Cabal, statistically pre-Ares, I mean, I wouldn't usually recommend building a team like this, but my goodness, they're just such a beautiful blend here of traits, right? So you can obviously see Bio, Mutant, as well as Tech all being utilized here. I brought them into my Dark Dimensions to actually unlock both Odin and Mephisto. They're a really super fun team, but the other reason they're on this list, guys, is because they provide value to actually unlock both Old Man Logan and Shadow King, who are two of the most important legendary characters in the game and 2 of the most powerful legendary characters in the game. So they're here really from a requirement standpoint, but also from a feasibility. Even something as endgame as Age of X, I've seen folks bring in Cabal into the Age of X progression, and because of how beautiful their blend of traits are, that's really why they're on this list, right? I mean, they're 2.1 million TCP here, just from the 3 of them. They're really, really strong. They're fun. And again, maybe in the future we'll see some additional statistical reworks added, but they're still very, very viable, even given their stat crept coming up to them now. But it's just what they can bring to you in terms of a roster and diversification standpoint. And again, that's not to say that they're really good as well in War and Crucible. So just nothing but good things to say across the board for Cosmic Cruise. For the respective 3-piece here that we see in Cabal. And then last but not least, guys, as you can see here, we do actually have my Fantastic Four. Okay, this load is not correct because my Franklin Richard should be here now because I actually got him at Gear Tier 20. But anyways, guys, Fantastic Four is the arena meta right now, so 100% you got to build them up. They're the go-to team. They're very powerful in War. They're powerful in Crucible. And the reason I wanted to put both Torch and as well as the Thing here is because of the fact that I actually am not planning to bring them up. You actually only need the 3-piece in arena, so that's why I wanted to make sure that you guys are aware. But my goodness, this 3-piece absolutely slaps in arena, especially given some of the current synergies right now. You can beat teams like Professor X and as well as Odin even without access to those characters, which is saying how powerful these characters are. So 100%, you guys, if you've taken anything from this list, absolutely gotta prioritize and build Fantastic Four. They're gonna give you value in all game modes. I'm bringing them into Age of X progression, and as well, I can definitely see them having value in Dark Dimension, in addition to obviously crushing arena for those power cores. So So hopefully this is helpful, guys. These are, in my opinion, the only 10 teams that you should be focused on right now to build that strong foundation for your roster, especially if you're newer, transitioning to mid-game, heck, even into early end game. This is going to be able to set you up for that progression. Again, we do this video update every single month or a couple months, so that way you guys are on track and understanding what's in the meta, what's on the way out, and as well as how to best prepare. Do let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you for your time as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.